Good morning, guys. So today I'm going to tell you about the indigenous weapon made by the some organization in India, that is DRDO, that is HAL, that is BDL. Means these are the organization they made indigenously weapons for the India, and they are continuously, we can say that they are continuously moving, and they are continuously in the process to make the new weapons for the India. So I'm going to discuss you all about the indigenously weapons used by the Indian armed forces. We will talk about the first I will talk about the Indian Army, Indian Air Force, and Indian Navy. So let's start. So first is Indian Army. Indian Army used weapon. If we're talking about the rifle, India Army used weapon, that is INSAS, India's small arm system, that is INSAS, and there is also INSAS LMG, means INSAS light machine gun. There is also a AK series. It is a joint venture between the Russia and the India to develop these AK series in the India, that is AK 203 variant, AK series variant. Now this is all about this is all about the rifles, and we talk about it. There is another that Indian Army used, like armored vehicles. We talk about that is Arjun MBT, Arjun main battle tank. That is also a second tank is that is indigenously made, that is Zorawa. So it is also a lightweight tank. Okay, this is the weapons. This is the weapons, and this is the weapons, and this is the armored vehicle used by the Indian Army. Okay, so this also, that is Vajra artillery. If we're talking about the artillery systems of the India, that is there are some artillery system, that is India's fire system. It is also artillery system. It is also artillery Vajra system. There is a Vajra system. This another, I don't remember too much, but there is artillery system, and there is also a multi-barrel rocket launcher Pinaka. We have Pinaka. That is similar to the artillery, but that is not artillery. It is a means it is used for the counter missiles or counter missiles activities. Okay, so this is all about the Indian Army. And if we talk about the Indian Air Force, so we have first is we talked about the fighter jet. We have HAL Tejas. It is a single twin. It is a single engine multi. It is a single engine. Tejas is a single engine light compact jet. Okay, it is indigenously made in India. And if we were talking about the other helicopters, this is that was the fighter jet. Now we talked about the another helicopters, that is this also a transport helicopter, that is a mixture of a transport helicopter and the fighter helicopter. We talked about the HAL, not Cheetah. That is a French. That was a French made, but we're talking about the Indian made, and Indian made that are like HAL Dhruv, HAL Rudra. Rudra is a fighter helicopter. HAL Prachand. Okay, so these are the helicopters used for the made by the Indian made in Indian, means this is indigenously equipment, defense equipment made in the India. Okay, made in the India. So now we're talking about the some missile system. If we're talking about the ballistic missiles, now I divided two missile into two parts: ballistic missile and a cruise missile. So first of all, I understand you what is the difference between the ballistic missile and the cruise missile. Cruise missile, like they goes they flows parallel to the earth. They blows parallel to the earth, like we can say that means their trajectory is like they follows the parallel curves to the earth, means they moves like this way. And if we talking about the another hand, that is ballistic missile, they follow the parabolic trajectory, like it means they go like this, and when they came out into the surface, into the atmosphere, their speed is like the 15 to 16 Mach, means they can reach up to the 15 to 16 Mach the speed in the when they come back to the earth atmosphere. So that is a ballistic missile. So India has a cruise missile, India has a ballistic missile. If we talk about the cruise missile, India has a BrahMos, India has a Nirbhay. BrahMos is a supersonic cruise missile, India and Nirbhay is a subsonic cruise missile. Okay, and BrahMos is joint venture between the India and the Russia. Okay, this is the cruise missile. Now we're talking about the ballistic missile. Ballistic missile, if we're talking about the like the short range surface to surface missile means that is ballistic missile. We have Prahar missile. We have Prithvi series like Prithvi 1, Prithvi 2, Prithvi 3. Okay, that is a short range. If we talk about the long range ballistic missiles, we have Agni series like Agni 1, Agni 2, Agni 3, Agni 4, Agni 5. Means there are Agni 3, Agni 4, Agni 5. This ICBM means intercontinental ballistic missile. They range up to the 3 to 5,000 kilometer approx. This is the range of the Agni missiles like 3, 4, 5. This is the range. Okay, and there is another like Agni series submarine launched version ballistic missile. This Agni series submarine launched version, that is Kala missile K series. Okay, so that was a surface to surface missile ballistic missile. Now we're talking about the surface to air missile. So first is like short range surface to air missile, that is Trishul. Okay, and if we're talking about the another missile, that is medium range, that we have the air defense system like Akash. We have defense Akash missiles. And if we're talking about the long range surface to air missiles, we have Barak 8, we have Kusha missiles, no, recently developed and recently tested by the DRDO. So that is our Kusha missile. Okay, now we have the anti-tank guided missile. So this is also a means I am telling you the Indian made. Okay, we have Nag, we have Halina, we have anti-tank means we have man portable anti-tank guided missile. This is the means indigenously made in India. These are the indigenously made in India. Okay, so we talked about the missiles, we talked about the cruise and ballistic missile that developed in the India, we talked about the missiles. No, we also talked about the Indian Army, their weapons, their main battle tank like Zorawar and Arjun. There is also a the artillery system that the Indian Army used, indigenously made in India. So these were all about the Indian armed forces, not armed forces, but this is all about Indian Army and Indian Air Force. On the other hand, we're talking about the Indian Navy. So what we have indigenously made INS Vikrant. This is the most advanced aircraft carrier ever produced by the Indian Navy. Okay, Indian Armed Forces ever produced by Indian Armed Forces. We have INS Vikrant. Now we have also a very we have also nuclear powered submarines. Like this is made by the under the project class 71I. Okay, and we have only three nuclear submarine in that time. We have INS Arihant, INS Arigat. We have and another one INS Aridaman. So these are the three submarines that India operates in that time. Only we have three, but we are going on the process to make some new nuclear submarines missiles for ourselves. Okay, we have many like we have destroyers, projects 15. We have frigates like under the project 17. We have corvettes. So these are the system like we are indigenously made in India. So that was all about the Indian armed forces like Indian Army, Indian Navy, and Indian Air Force. Okay. Now in the end, I would like to say that what are the supporting system of the combat army? What are the supporting corps of the Indian Army? Like Indian Army doing their job, like they have infantry, they have mechanized infantry. But who are these five supporting units that support the Indian Army? Okay, so we have to listen and we have to look at this. Okay, so first is like corps of engineering, like everything, like we have to make a new bridge, we have to make a neutralize anything. So engineering, corps of engineering is playing a very major role for us. Corps of engineering, like second is corps of signals, like the radio signals for the communication, for the electronic warfare. We have the electronics, we have the corps of electronics. Now we talked about the corps of engineering, corps of signaling. Okay, corps of signal. We have also the corps of like we can say that the regiment of the artillery. This is also a supporting corps. This is also a supporting corps for us. And fourth is army aviation corps. So what are the use of the army aviation corps? Army aviation corps used for the like the ground surveillance, like the compact, like they are used in the like logistic, they are used in the surveillance system, they are used in the HADR, again used in the natural calamity. So overall we can say that this is the supporting arm of the armed forces. And last one is the core of army air defense, means they support and they provide support to the main infantry and mechanized infantry in the battlefield. Like they prevent from the aerial attacks, aerial threat to the Indian army. So these are five. No, I would like to talk again. No, I would just like to say these names was it or core of corps. My mistake. That is core of engineering, core of signals, core of army air defense, battalion of artillery, and army aviation corps. This is the five corps supporting core of the Indian army. So thank you.